Hey everyone, I'm Mark Sargent. This is Flat Earth Q&A emails number 111, where you send me your Flat Earth questions to msargent23 at comcast.net. That's msargent 23 at comcast.net. Let's get right to it. This first one's a little bit longer than most. It's called Students Looking to Interview a Flat Earther. Hello, Mr. Sargent. Thank you for taking the time to answer our questions. And I should preface this. This is from a, you know what, let me open with the email that they initially sent me. Hello, Mr. Sargent. We are a group of French students who came across your YouTube channel. We found it very interesting. We would really appreciate it if you could answer a few questions since we are working on a project on the topic of Flat Earth for school. We will have no judgment at all on your convictions, and we will not try to argue with you. We simply want to hear a Flat Earther's point of view. If you have time to answer our questions, I will send them to you in the next email. Thank you very much. And I said yes. And so let's get right to the questions. So they said, thank you for answering taking the time excuse me, to answer our questions. Your answers will be very useful to us. We would like to know, and I'll answer them right here in order, so you guys know what I have to deal with on a regular basis. One, how did you first find out about this theory? What convinced you? And you guys know the answer to this already, but I first looked into Flat Earth in the summer of 2014. I had an opinion on just about every conspiracy theory there is, but Flat Earth bugged me because it was ridiculous. Then I tried to debunk it. 9 months later, I built the Flat Earth Clues, which are now on YouTube, books, and documentaries. Number two, why are you using your YouTube channel to speak out about this theory? Social media is currently the most powerful information force in the world, and YouTube is the new television. Just about everything you ever want to know is on it. Question number three, do you feel judged by your peers? What do they think about this theory? My answer, you need a pretty thick skin when you get into Flat Earth. 90% of the current community is in the closet because they are afraid of ridicule from friends, family, and coworkers. My family, like many, are split on the topic. I have lost some friends, but have gained a lot more. Number four, why do you think the government and NASA would hide the truth from us or edit photos to make it look like the Earth is round? My answer, like all governments, their top priority is power and stability. They had been preaching the ways of scientism for the last 500 years and built a well-defined infrastructure. Then, in 1960, they discovered that we were living inside a giant building with walls, floors, and a ceiling. This building implies a builder, something that is far greater than any government. You can't be the highest power if you aren't. Question number five, where do you live? In which country? I thought you would know this by now, but it's all right. My answer, I currently live on Whidbey Island, north of Seattle, in the USA. Question number six, did you make an experience or observations that prove the Earth is flat? My answer, if life is a court case, can I prove the Earth is flat? No. However, I can create so much reasonable doubt in the globe that the only place you have left to turn is a flat, enclosed world. I have attached 5 questions that were sent to a professor at Georgetown University in the United States. He could not answer them. Number 7. How do you explain solar and lunar eclipses? My answer, solar and lunar eclipses are just part of a giant display system similar to the ones we use in a planetarium. Everything you see in the sky is just a high-resolution series of lights. Number 8, how do you explain the fact that this theory is coming back today? My answer, the theory is coming back today mostly because of social media. General entertainment like movies and television has run its course. There is nothing new there. Novelty, it seems, is coming to an end. Flat Earth has now become easier to understand than the globe model. People are like water, and they will always take the easiest path. Question number 9. In France, people generally don't believe in the Flat Earth theory. What would you tell them to convince them that they are wrong? If I had to convince people in France about the Flat Earth theory, I would first show them the American documentary Behind the Curve. After that, I would have them listen to the Flat Earth Clues series, and if they still are curious, I would have them look at the Flat Earth shortlist for new people, which is on my YouTube playlist page. Links are below. And number 10, do you want to add anything, elaborate on the idea you would think be of interest to put in our essay? And what I did was I sent them all the source material that I've got, all the slides from my Strange World shows and different media clips and the timeline pictures and stuff like that. So anyway, that was it. So you don't have to answer all these questions. Any answer will be valuable to us. Thanks very much for your attention. 3 students from France. Cool. So I have to answer those quite often. And again, I don't care where they come from. If they're a high school group or if they're a university group, doesn't matter to me. Moving on, this one's called James Butler. Hello, sir. My name is James Butler, and I just watched your video on Richard Byrd. I actually watched that whole interview and had some questions I hope you can answer. Please feel free to email me, or better, to call me at this number. I look forward from hearing from you. Okay. I will see what I can do there. This one's called Owen Benjamin. Mark, I'm ecstatic that Owens jumped on the train. I believe Owen 100%. He was definitely moving up the comedy ranks. Being friends with Joe Rogan helps. He's been on Joe Rogan twice. He got blackballed by his agency, some agency that bought UFC recently. The reason for this was a Hollywood big shot decided to give his child hormone blockers to help ensure trans child. Owen called it out as child abuse. His agent dropped him and now is called Nazi by the left. Since his agent dropped, he's mainly on conservative-leaning shows. Louder with Crowder, Change My Mind, Alex Jones, since the blocking of InfoWars on social media. As far as Kelsey Grammer, Owen probably discussed at the beginning he usually titles videos by first topic. Tell Karen B to check his videos out. Yeah, and I did watch Owen's video, which was Owen Benjamin's video. Interesting. And the one where he had Kelsey Grammer in the title was very, very interesting because he was using Kelsey as an example of lots of different Hollywood celebs about how their lives are usually marred by different types of tragedies. And it seems like just about every celebrity you know has a tragedy in their life, huge tragedy. I mean, beyond the pale type thing. And even I'll use George Michael as a perfect example, not as a Star Wars tragedy, although he did commit suicide recently, which in itself is a whole other thing. George Michael made a song in the 90s called Star People. And the chorus really, really struck me, where he was talking about how everybody in celebrity, the chorus is, it's a dream with a nightmare stuck in the middle. It's very, very true. Seriously, look at just about any, and that's where Owen Benjamin went off this rant. He just started rolling down the list of all these celebs that had murder or suicide or huge amounts of child abuse tied in with them. Again, it's part of the creative angst process, unfortunately, with a lot of people. Moving on, this one's called Nat Geo Clip. Mark, good morning, sir. William here. I think I heard correct that you have the whole National Geographic spot. May I please get that? By the way, another time I will tell you the story of my lady friend who came during the Nat Geo spot to cut my hair. It led to a phone call 2 days later that got her so upset. To the head pastor of my church she went. I am glad she had 3 years practice. I was still nervous when I had sat in front of our new pastor who knows nothing about me, since my pastor, who has gotten to know me quite well over the last 13 years, has recently left our church. He did gladly take the book I bought from Nathan Roberts and said he had actually excited to read it and wanted to talk again after he reads it. I felt like I had run a marathon after that 2-hour meeting and talk. We were the last to leave his church this past Sunday. Peace to you always, William. Thank you, William, and good luck with that. Again, talking to people about Flat Earth is not easy. This one's called I Messed Up Something. That's from Jack Frost. Yep, he's sending me thumbnails on a regular basis. If you guys want to make thumbnails for the show, by the way, if they're creative types, and you know I do a lot with thumbnails, by all means, shoot them to me. I may or may not use them, but definitely, I will look at them. So. This one's called Moon. Hi, Mark. I'm about 75% on board with your Earth theory, but can you explain the moon phases? This part is baffling to me. Is there a video or something to read online explaining this? Explaining that? I'm seriously reading that as is. I've watched all your clues, but don't remember seeing anything about this. Thanks, Jocelyn. Yeah, Jocelyn, look, everything up in the sky, put it all in one bucket, and that is the stars, the moon, the sun. It's all part of the same system up there. Everything you see is really no different than a planetarium. Yes, the sun and the moon might be three-dimensional objects that circle around, or pseudo three-dimensional objects, because they give off their own light source, and really, really bright light source, I might add. But other than that, no, they're no different than a planetarium. You are living in a building with walls and a floor and a ceiling. This one's called Listening to Your Q&A 110. Mark, around the minute 23, you read a letter about the likes on the page that outnumbered the views. I think the lady just made a mistake. I am seeing for the veteran 737 pilot grounded video, total views 131,000, likes 1,600, dislikes 235. Yeah, that's what I saw. Just an FYI, thanks, Mike from Virginia. Yeah, I don't know what she was seeing, why she thought that was out of whack. 1,600 likes and 235 dislikes on a video with 131,000 views. No, that's about right. I don't see anything strange there. This one's called My Channel. Mark, this is William from Northern California. I recently had to make a channel because I really wanted to comment on one of D. Marble's videos right after the Denver conference. I finally decided on his channel is William Who Wakes You 66. However, when I sent just a regular email from my Google account, the one I correspond with you, a second email is automatically sent under my channel name, William Who Wakes You 66. How do I stop this from happening? Okay, look, what settings must I go into and change? All right, I will finish off the rest of this email. But I don't do tech support for everything. I can do tech support for some stuff, but you really should look this up. That you're just carbon copying. It's a setting. It's not happening because of nefarious reasons. You've just hit a setting and you're carboning yourself on these emails. Anyway, he continues on. This is very bad since I have just recently started being bold and forthright in several media formats, but still must be careful due to the papers I signed while in the Air Force. Thanks as always, Mark. After I figure this setting out, I believe I'm going to cool for a while and pray and consider which direction the Lord would have me take. I've already been a follower and haven't even made a video, but I think I really do want to make one, and it may be with my friend and classmate who... and I'm not going to say his name. Do not mention my friend's name on air until I get his blessing. Okay, got it. I would love to do a demolition on the National Geographic special. I promise I will be as kind as Ravi Zacharias is when he debunks atheists. I truly believe God has been grooming me all along for speaking out his truth and exposing all the lies of Satan and men. Along the way, I will not shy away from exposing all the lies I personally believed in as well, is what will keep me humble and kind, I pray, and hopefully unable to be bribed or corrupted. If I can do this by the help of the Holy Spirit, but in the end, it may cost me everything as the Bible teaches. We will just have to see. Peace to you, as always, Mark. William. Thank you. This one's called Antarctic Hotel. Mark, I ran across this website for tourism in Antarctica. And you can check it out at whitedesert.com. Yep. Yeah, again, tourism exists. That I'm never, ever going to question. And I know people still, to this day, every month, oh, no, you can go down to... Yes, of course, I've said that in the clues. You can go down to Antarctica and have your picture taken with penguins. But corporation cannot set up shop there. But thank you for that. This one's called No Subject. Hello, Mark. I've recently been watching a lot of your Flat Earth videos, and I have a question in Flat Earth Clues Part 5, Status Quo. You stated that it's much more relevant and entertaining to explain it in modern terms, and went on to tell why a flat Earth would be risky for the government, NASA, the UN, etc. to reveal. But I'm wondering why they couldn't have revealed the discovery as soon as they made it. Could the government still have been accused of keeping the findings from us, and would many universities, space agencies, and observatories still have to go out of business or end their programs? I watched the video a few times, but I apologized if I simply missed something, and that's from Felicity. Yeah, they could have said something back in 1960. Absolutely, they could have. But remember, back then, the communication lines weren't nearly as fluid as they are now. Meaning we didn't, internet was still 20, 30 years away at least. Television was still fairly new in 1960. Most people had black and white. In fact, everybody had black and white set in 1960. It only started switching to color in the mid-60s. Movies. Oh, I mean it. Okay, so yes, you could have tried to tell people, but the powers that be err on the side of caution, which is people in power do not take chances. If there's just even a 5% chance that the people will walk through the streets with pitchforks and torches and burn the place down, you don't take that chance. I think their moves actually worked out pretty well for them, to where now we have social media. You've got 7 billion people in the world and 6 billion smartphones. You could use the old criminals saying you could get the story straight. I remember in all the movies, make sure we all got our story straight. You can push out the right narrative simultaneously to everybody, and everyone will have it in less than 30 minutes. So that's what I think they were kind of waiting for. It's like, okay, we got to figure out a way to tell the people. And they built a immensely complex infrastructure to do that. So, but could they have done it in 1960? Yeah, they could have taken the shot, but would you? And how would you have done it? Remember, not everybody even owned televisions. You had radio, you had newspapers, very, very slow, and you saw how people reacted during that whole Roswell thing. Telling people they live in a giant building, that they live in a big box. I don't know. I'm sorry, I have to agree with him in this case. I don't know if I would have said anything either. I would have probably sat down and it's like, okay, we got to figure out how to roll this forward, and we got to do it very, very carefully. So that's what they did. But thank you for that question. This one's called Zach Hubbard of Gematria on TFR. Mark, this is Nathan from West Virginia. I called into Zach Hubbard's Gematria show at 23:45 Eastern Time. That's military time, by the way. That's just about midnight. On the 19th of December, I asked him if he has ever heard or talked to Rob Skiba. Following that question, I also asked him, being he knows numbers, if he has any thoughts on 8 inches per mile squared formula. Zach replied, yes, and I have heard of Rob. Zach replies, yes, I have heard of Rob, and explained that the flat earthers are using the formula wrong. That Rob's Chicago skyline video was proof of Earth curve, the missing bottoms of the buildings, and all were of account of the curve formula. I replied, well, then can you call Rob or Mark Sargent and explain where we're going wrong? He replies he is trying to expose a much bigger conspiracy. With corruption in government, yeah, and masonry and numbers and all. Yeah, because that's bigger than flat earth. You'll have to, in fact, tell me, if you, seriously out there, you debunkers, if you have a conspiracy bigger than flat earth, love to hear it. Really, really would. Bigger than the whole world. Really would love to hear that. You'll have to find his video on TFR from last night around midnight to where I called in. I would like you to give him a call, please. Flat smack him for us. Now, he knows full well. He hates us already. We don't have to flat smack him. He's already done a debate with Jeranism. Hopefully you know this, Nathan. Don't think he liked talking to me because of flat earth. No, he doesn't like talking to flat earthers at all. We've been hitting him solid for several years now, and he hates us because we're stealing, like a lot of other conspiracy people, we're stealing the thunder from everybody else. This one's called Love Your Channel. Hi, Mark. New to and loving your program. Do you come to Australia for seminars at all? Also, what do we do with all this information? We live such short lives here to make significant changes for future generations. Was wanting my children to procreate, but not anymore. Ciao for now. Regards, Layla. I have never been to Australia or New Zealand or anywhere out there. I would love to go. If anyone, you gotta fly me out though. So if anyone wants to fly me out for a meetup or a conference or whatever, I would be happy to go. Just get me there. Moving on. This one's called What's Good, Mark? Hello, Mark. Can you please send me the Coast to Coast interview again? For some reason, I can't access it. Weird. Oh, yeah, and I did. By the way, I heard you picked Ginger over Marianne. I'll give you one more. Barbara Eden with genie powers or Ginger from Gilligan's Island. Just saying, another email you have to read. And that's from Jay. Okay, so the question he had was, okay, first off, if anyone wants the Coast to Coast interviews, you guys know by now if you're listening to the show. If you've made it to 111 Q&As, you know by now that I have Coast to Coast interviews sitting on my machine, but I can't put them up on YouTube because I signed the release form saying I would not put them out there. So strange that out of all the interviews I've done, Coast to Coast is the only people that said, nope, you cannot put this anywhere. It's like, all right, fine. And they're good about that. I mean, they will not. In fact, you have to sign it before the show even starts. Otherwise they will not talk to you. So he had a question. He said, "Okay, do you choose Ginger or Marianne?" It's like, are you kidding? I'm a huge Marilyn Monroe fan, and Ginger was a great impersonation of Marilyn. And so, yes, I will take Ginger, played by Tina Louise, over Marianne 6 days a week and twice on Sundays. And whether I would choose Barbara Eden from I Dream of Jeannie or Ginger from Gilligan's Island, I'd still pick Ginger. I know there was a lot of guys out there that were really huge fans, and I know Barbara wore the Jeannie outfit, and no, she's very pretty and very shapely and attractive all day long, right? Just didn't do it for me. I don't know what it was. I just, something about her eyes and her smile. Ginger, I liked the seductress side of Ginger more than anything. A little quick story. You guys probably heard this before, and that is, look, when I was really, really young, like a lot of guys, I didn't know what sex was, but I knew when Ginger was trying to get something from Gilligan and she was whispering in his ear, whatever that was, I liked it. And so I was immediately drawn to Ginger, and it was part of my ASMR journey to where, anyway, let's move on, shall we? It's Christmas soon. We should probably talk about something that's not that. Okay, this one's called Strange Stuff. Hi, Mark. I was wondering if you could answer a question for me. I am on Google Earth and having a look at Antarctica. I am not sure if you have touched on it yet. I only came across some of your vids today, so I'm fairly new to these conspiracy theories. I'm very intrigued. It truly does fascinate me. If you have a look at Franklin Island, there is a section blackened out, and I'm wondering what that could be. Has this been a topic that someone has already spoken about? If one zooms into that area, you can clearly see that it is blacked out on purpose, and if one zooms in further, you can see there are some small areas still visible, and I want to know what this is. I don't know what that is. Plus, Google Earth is completely compromised. You don't trust anything about Google Earth. If I add the link, see if you can see what I see, or is it just my mind playing tricks? That whole area looks strange, like someone copied and pasted a land area in the middle of the ocean. Yep. Anyways, keep looking forward to hearing from you with thoughts. Keep well, Pam. Yeah, Pam, Antarctica, mystery continent, a lot of stuff going on there. Most of it we don't know. This one's called Falcon, March of 2007. Greetings, Mark. I love the interview number 180 you did with Eben Kim. I think you should give the caller, Mia from SpaceX, a little more time to gather her thoughts, then have her on the show for another chat. She sounds like she's got the potential to come to the flat side. Did you by chance check out the YouTube video she mentioned, Falcon, March of 2007? I watched it and I don't know what to think. I thought I saw something round looking, not sphere-like, but round. Thanks for all your interesting uploads, Allison from Canada. And yeah, the 2000 video, look, everything that's sent from space is using a fisheye lens or some modified fisheye lens, also known as the peephole lens. And I'm not sure why people still, I mean, I get it, the fisheye, because it looks like a fisheye. But I think the peephole lens reference is way better if people don't already understand that. And that is when you're looking at it, especially in a hotel, if you're looking out your peephole, the hallway isn't curved. It's as straight as an arrow. And yet, when you're looking out that lens, the hallway looks curved. And that's because of that. But anyway, I'm trying to bring peephole back. I don't think it's going to happen. That's fine. Moving on. This one's called Flat Clues. Let's see here. Hi, Mark. How are you? Came here just to wish you happy Christmas holidays. This is finally exposed, flat earth debated, even here in Italy. A lot of people who don't know what they're talking about from both sides, and a lot of tricky disinformation made by media, usual stuff. Take care. And that's from Shiva. And you know what? The last time he wrote me was 2 years ago. And this was the guy. Yeah. This was the East Indian rapper from shivamusic.com, MUZIK.com. And he was, I'm going to have to write him back. He made a flat earth music video which got a little bit of traction, but his producers contacted me right after I mirrored it on my channel. He goes, if you're going to put it on your channel, you can't use his real name, because the producers thought that Flat Earth would reflect badly on him. So only time will tell with that one. This one's called One Reason Why the Moon Landing is Fake. Must read quick message. Mark, reply if you can. The part that bugs me about the moon landing is if Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon, then who the hell set up the camera in the most perfect position to watch him get out of the lander? Also, how did they get an electric car to the moon in 1969? And just recently, Elon Musk launched his own car into space. Something does not add up. And that's from James. Yep, absolutely right, James. It's all fishy. This one's called National Geographic Video. Please send. Mark, please send me the National Geographic video. I could probably use a server to look like I was not on the US, but I couldn't find the video posted on YouTube. Thanks, Mark. You're awesome. And that's from MW. What he's talking about is the National Geographic piece on their channel, called the television channel called National Geographic Explorer. They did a segment on us, which they shot late this last summer, and they're blocking it just in the United States, which is weird. Like, you can watch it in Canada and England and Australia and everywhere else, but you cannot watch it in the United States. So I put it on my channel, and I mentioned in the title, I say it's blocked in the US. But if you can't watch, but I highly encourage it. You can watch it on the internet. Just go to the National Geographic website, and you can watch it there. It's from a few weeks ago. But if you can't find it for whatever reason, or you're lazy, or whatever it is, just let me know. Shoot me a thing and say, hey, can I get the National Geographic video? I've got a lower res version. It's about 300 megs on my machine right here, and I can shoot it off to you. My transfer rate's pretty good. This one's called About That Email from Early This Morning. Let's see. Mark, well, let's see. That video there of yours, Q&A emails 109, is dated around the 15th, and we talked on the 14th, mid-afternoon on the 14th, and I gave information that it was unblocked in the US too. So I don't know, maybe you were working on that video already in progress in the mid-afternoon before I had gotten back to you in the late afternoon. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, have you retried to re-upload it? Yes, it's still coming out blocked. I've uploaded. I don't understand why it's not blocked. Yes, I remember what you said about this. Blah, blah. This is from Mike. Let me know if you want to try anything else. So what he did was, for whatever reason, I've got a theory on this. He made an unblocked version for the United States. He has it distorted so much, and he has so much stuff on the screen that I don't know if even I would try to block it. But I think what happens, I think YouTube is intuitive enough that I have uploaded the National Geographic thing on my channel so many, at least 12, 15 times. And it was blocked every time, that now I think that they see something even remotely that looks like it. I even renamed it, I changed the naming scheme and changed the file names and did all that stuff, everything to try to trick the system, and it was still being blocked. So sorry. If you want the unblocked version, you can ask me for it. You can watch it on the thing, or you could watch the just type in National Geographic Flat Earth and you might find something on Matt's site, but you'll know it when you see it. So sorry, Mike, I tried, but it's all right. No big deal. Everything for a reason. It's out there. People want it. Oh, I've got it. I can send it to them, and it's a hit piece anyway. So it's not like it's a real feel good video. Moving on. This one's called Key West. Hi, Mark. I'm Tom from down in Key West, Florida. I'd like to do a meetup down here. I don't have much of a YouTube presence, but would really appreciate if you could maybe post my email so I can find offers down here. Thanks much, Tom Budus. And he says, the Earth is flat and stationary. Look into it. And then he puts, that's actually part of his signature. Oh, by the way, I should mention that people that want to do some fun stuff, put some flatter thing in the footer of your email signature. Put it in there. Put it at the bottom, and it'll catch people's eyes from time to time. And I will put that in my to-do pile. I will write back and say, look, you don't try to solicit people with email addresses and trying to find out who would come to a Flat Earth meetup. Just do it. Find a bar or a restaurant or a park or civic center, whatever it is, and just do it. All you have to do is send me where it's going to be, what day it's going to be, and time, of course, and then the contact information, and I will put it out on. I'll put a trailer on my channel, and you will have people show up. Guarantee it. This one's called Flat Earth. Hi, Mark. Is this the Flat Earth YouTube guy? Thank you, Anna. You know what? I'm going to write her right now. I'm going to say, yes, this is me, Mark. All right. I get those every once in a while, too. As you know, people will say, is this email still working? Yes, it is. All right, this one's called, Why Don't Long Clouds with Flat Bottoms Curve Along with the Earth? Hi, Mark. I was looking up today and saw a very long flat cloud. I noticed it being very straight, and I asked myself, how come it's not curving towards the Earth? I went online to look for the longest cloud I could find one that hundreds of miles long. Wow, in Western Australia. See link. I'm going to have to take a look at that. What should we see in a globe Earth is the flat bottom of the very long clouds start curving towards the Earth and seen it curve over the horizon. That's never the case. The different levels of atmosphere should be spherical, like in every depiction given by academia, NASA, NOAA, etc. And thus clouds, when they hug those atmospheres, should also curve, but they never do. What are your thoughts? Thanks, Eben. And that's Eben Kim, who recently interviewed me. Yeah, you're exactly right. Anything that goes off into the horizon. I don't care if it's a long cloud or, more importantly, planes. Because remember, if a plane's going off into the horizon, eventually, if you zoom in on it, you should see it kind of knifing down to like it's going to crash. Like the nose is going to start angling towards the horizon, and you never do. It just goes off and off and off into the distance. It never looks like it's angling down. Same thing with clouds. Clouds go long, far, far distances. In fact, I'm going to have to look this one up. It's from the Daily Telegraph, co.uk, and it's a roll cloud. You guys can look that up if you get a chance. Maybe I'll turn that one into a thumbnail. But yeah, clouds nothing curves down or bends down towards the horizon. Remember, if you're looking at the horizon, you're looking over the hill. So everything should be going over the hill, not just the water or the horizon itself, but everything above the horizon. Remember, we're just talking about planes. So anyway, moving on. This one's called Great Show. Hi, Mark. I am watching all your Strange World shows, and I'm now up to episode 146. Wow, that's impressive. Very good stuff. I especially like your subject matter experts. The reason I'm writing you today is I have noticed a time or two that someone has written to you about pronunciation of a specific word. And much to my surprise, you have always fixed your pronunciation of those words. Why? Why would that be a surprise? I try to learn things every day. In a somewhat recent episode, I heard you talking about your pronunciation of the word picture. I know I say picture because it's quick, it's fast off the tongue. And I thought you would finally fix this one as well. Seriously, when you were talking about looking at the picture of something spelled like a jug of water or a man who throws a ball in a baseball game, my ears cringe. Yet here we are, and you still say picture like an entirely different word. There are only two people in the world that I know who say picture as picture like you do. Oh, well, then I'm unique. That would be you and my mother. Funny. While we are on the topic, how about all those words that end with ing? Is it to my ears? It is to my ears, as an English teacher, a constant cringe-inducing experience to hear things like, from his album Steppin Out. Yeah, but I do that deliberately. I'm not going to say stepping out because nobody says that. It's stepping out. If you're going, that's actually a saying. That's, in fact, that's how it's spelled on the album. It's spelled Steppin. I'm pretty sure. I realize how common it is, but that just makes it more relevant to fix. I'm not actually familiar. There you go. I'm not familiar with that album. Perhaps they stylized that album title with the intentional misspelling. Yes, they did. If that is the case, then you are saying it correctly, as much as I hate the sound of it, but that still leaves a whole lot of other ing words to pronounce correctly. I'm going to the kitchen for some bacon. Yeah, you see, did I go for baked goods or pork products? Great show. Take care, Clinton. All right, I will work on the whole picture thing, although I don't really mind. I've been doing that one for so long, and I actually think it flows better when you're talking. It breaks up pacing sometimes when you say picture. Well, who knows? Maybe I'll finally slip into it eventually. It's going to take a little while. But stepping out is stepping out. It's not stepping out. No, stepping. It's slang. Kind of. Okay, moving on. This one's called Watch Kyrie Irving Responds to Steph Curry's Moon Landing Remarks on YouTube. Check it out, Mark. Kyrie has something to say. Yep, absolutely. With Stephen Curry from the Golden State Warriors said that he didn't believe in the moon landing. They immediately tied him to Kyrie Irving, who believes in flat Earth, and started asking Kyrie about it. And Kyrie had some interesting things to say. So if you want, check out. You can read all about it. There's a bunch of different articles on it. Just look it up. Love that, again, Kyrie Irving standing his ground. This one's called Pearl Harbor. Hi, Mark. I've been following you and other Flat Earth believers for a few years and really enjoy the shows, particularly The Secret Show, and I am convinced the powers that shouldn't be are hiding the truth. One subject that I struggle with, and I wonder if you have any thoughts on, is how the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor on a Flat Earth map. It looks an incredible distance for the flights at that time as opposed to the shorter distance on the globe, unless it was an inside job. Cheers, keep up the good work, Tom. And no, remember, it's not a long flight. Remember, they took aircraft carriers. That's the big thing. So they took boats. We rarely fly from continent to continent. We usually take aircraft carriers and do it locally. Just saying. Thank you for that, though. This one's called Your Thoughts. And it's a story. Let's see what the story is. Oh, yeah, it's on the BBC. This is a picture. Notice what I did there. You've seen it recently. It's called, this one's on the BBC. It's called Mars. Pictures reveal winter wonderland on the red planet. And it literally shows like a volcano or meteor crater that's filled up with snow. It looks like a giant ice rink. And they're of course, they're tying this for Christmas. It's a December 21st story. And the story says, Earth's North Pole is famous for its snowy climates and for hosting Santa's workshop, of course. Yeah, where's the Christmas asteroid you're going to do again? They've done the Halloween asteroid every couple of years now. And that bugs me. It looks like a skull. They just photoshopped an asteroid to look like a skull. And now they're saying that Mars is snowy. Where did they take this shot from? This is like a high-res shot of a crater on Mars. It looks like a snowy environment. Stories like this just drive me nuts. It's just that space drumbeat. You're in space, you're in space, you're in space. No, you're not. But they have to keep saying it. This one's called Very Important. Dear Mr. Mark Sargent, I think you are the first. It may have been Eric DeBay. There are creatures, some people are calling them aliens. They feed on our fear, our death, our hate. This is not a prison. It is a farm. Ooh. Like others that are fed upon, we are nurtured, emotionally weak. We hurt and kill each other, providing sustenance for our captors. Don, had a near-death experience. I was saved, by the way. I saw people, places, and things during my time out-of-body experience. One was very important. You will meet him. The Watchers and Nephilim spirits are still with us. The people keeping under the delusion of the round and godless earth. Let's see. I have no choice but to keep no way to give us the truth. They are under duress. They are trapped till death like us. The end time, great deception is what we are being taught in school and around earth. School and round earth. All right. I don't often read those, but kind of interesting. This one's called God Bless You. Hi, Mark. Thanks so much for all you do. I just heard again your offer to send 5 science questions, 12 pictures. Obviously, I'm getting better at that. Survival guide, a National Geographic interview. Please do send. Thank you. I will trade them for books on Antarctica or any other subject you wish. Or I found something at a thrift shop, the authoritative Calvin and Hobbes Treasury. Take your pick. It is easy to talk with folks for about FE. My intro is no perpetual motion, Earth, not stars. Horizon rises and water finds its level. It is quite fun to discuss. Thank you. New Year's blessings, Anne. And yeah, thank you, Anne, for that. And I've always been a Calvin and Hobbes fan. Really, really big fan of the work that he did. And I don't know, just the power of imagination. That's why I loved about Calvin and Hobbes was, a boy and his stuffed tiger that he created all these worlds with. I thought it was just so great. And his work still lives on even today in different things. I'll use a perfect example of that. Which is Calvin and Hobbes. He created this cardboard box, literally during the height of all this Calvin and Hobbes stuff. He created a cardboard box, and he called it a transmorgifier, which he could turn anything into anything else. It was basically what it says. It's a transmorgifier. It turns, it's not a teleporter and it's not a matter replicator. It just turns you into something else. And it was such a great thing that World of Warcraft, they even built that in. So you can make your character look like any piece of armor you have ever collected in your life. And you go to a transmorgifier vendor. Again, wonderful nod to Calvin and Hobbes for that. And I was just always makes me smile every time I use it. All right, let's see if there's any more we can end on here. This one's called Survival Guide Prepper Stuff. Hey, Mark, Stage 1, Flat Earther here. Can't believe I'm so far behind the curve. Pun intended. I see what he did there because of the documentary Behind the Curve. Could you shoot me that guide for prepping? Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I've been thinking about that a lot more recently because we had a power outage up here in north of Seattle in the islands. And you forget, especially nowadays, it's not like when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s. You forget how much electricity and the internet mean to us. I mean, it's even worse. I can't even imagine being a millennial if the power goes out. You would just be in such rough shape. Anyway, thanks. Praying for your resolve. Be strong and courteous. And that's from Clay. And that reminds me, if anybody wants a survival guide, it's free. All I have to do is email me and say survival guide in the title or the email somewhere. Put it in the beginning, though. Otherwise, it takes me a while to get to it. And I will send it to you. It's called Empty Shelves. It's 2 megs. It's got pictures and a bunch of other stuff. And I will send it to you. Oh, let's do one more and call it good. Christmas is coming up. I got to get ready. This one's called Little America. Hello, Mark. My name is Chris. I just recently got turned on to your channel on YouTube. I just got off work here in, Freeland, Washington. I live in Greenbank. That's right up the island. Anyway, am I correct saying that you are in Langley? Yeah. That we may possibly live on the same rock called Whidbey Island. I came across some things at a yard sale here on the island that might interest you. Don't know where I get them deciphered. Feel free to contact me. That's really, really cool. And that's from Chris. And and in fact, if anyone ever wants, you're not going to get it here for Christmas. If you ever want to send me anything, my physical address literally is in the description box of every single video that I make. You can just, along with all of my other contact info. So that being said, let's wrap this one up. Thank you for everybody that emailed me, and happy holidays. And remember, my email address is msargent23@comcast.net. That's msargent23@comcast.net. Until next time, guys, stay flat.